I don't want to claim responsibility, but I have made it known on this channel that I hate them. This is Time is Money, where the clock is always ticking and money is always moving. I'm Thomas Hendricks with Chrono 24 in New York City. Get your triple calendars, your annual calendars, and your perpetual calendars ready because for this episode, we're looking back at the year that was. Here are 3 signs of the times for 2022. Perhaps the biggest story of the year is how the hype died down. We'll discuss not only what happened, but where we might be going from here. Next, we are going model by model to see how the winners and losers stack up for 2022. And finally, we're also looking at broader trends for case materials, dial colors, sizing, and more to find what's in and what's out. The rocket ship with seemingly endless fuel finally started coming back down to Earth this year. We're speaking, of course, about hype watches like the Perpetual Nautilus, the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, and the Rolex Daytona. What was selling for 4 to 5 times its retail price is now only selling for 2 to 3 times that amount. The current situation is due to global economic forces like inflation, the war in Ukraine, and the crash of crypto. And the more a watch has surged in price, the more it has to lose. The ripple effects have been fairly limited, however, as we're still seeing heritage brands in the mid-price segment like Omega, Cartier, IWC retaining their values. It has been a tough year for Rolex, though, as many of their sport models had taken a dip in market value in 2022. The Daytona declined the most, but enthusiasts also saw movement in the market for brand stalwarts like the GMTs and the subs. Rolex is wading into the secondary market now after announcing that their ADs can start selling certified pre-owned watches that are at least 3 years old. There's a lot of debate as to how this program will be implemented and how this will affect the secondary and gray markets. Perhaps Rolex will impose some sort of price ceiling to keep them competitive, or perhaps those watches will sell for a premium after being inspected by the brand. Preliminary reports at the time of this recording suggest that prices for Rolex certified pre-owned watches will be listed slightly above their secondary market averages, and only time will tell how consumers will react. This is a situation that all watch enthusiasts will be keeping an eye on going into 2023. We all know that brick watch from the Barstool Sports Guy is the worst watch of the year, so instead, let's look at how these serious contenders stacked up in 2022. We just covered the biggest losers in terms of price. In terms of market share on Chrono 24, we saw year-over-year declines of approximately 25% for appropriately priced brands like Nomos, Maurice Lacroix, Rado, and Youngins, as well as vintage names like Hoyer and Eberhard. The biggest loser for year-over-year market share on the platform is Richard Mille. It's not a large percentage of sales by any means, but it's about half of what it was last year. I don't want to claim responsibility, but I have made it known on this channel that I hate them. Now, as some lose ground, others gain ground. The brands that did the best at seizing the opportunity are Grand Seiko, whom we discussed last episode of Time is Money, Swatch because of the momentous Moon Swatch rollout, and Laurent Ferrier for whatever reason. In terms of watch models, the Rolex Datejust is gaining in price and in market share on Chrono 24. We're talking about Datejust as a whole, modern, vintage, steel, gold, 41mm, 36mm, 31, etc. The model family is the top seller on the platform and sales are stronger than they were in 2021. This may continue into next year. After all, if people are hesitant of the broader economy, they may gravitate more towards watches that are classic and relatively affordable. The Grand Seiko Elegance and Heritage collections are on the up and up. This isn't too shocking given the quality of the products and the amount of marketing dollars that they're investing, especially in the West. There is, however, a surprise in our top 5 selling brands. You can guess that Rolex, Omega, Patek Philippe, and Audemars Piguet are in there, but you may be surprised to learn that Breitling claims the number 5 spot. They're beating the ever-popular Cartier, and they're beating competitors like JLC, IWC, Tag Heuer, Tudor, Panerai, and Zenith. The Navitimer sells well, but it's all the other Breitling models that pump up the brand's overall sales on Chrono 24. However, models like the Super Ocean, Avenger, and Chronomat are all trending downwards in market share, so someone else is poised to grab that top 5 slot in the coming months. Congratulations on making it this far in the video, in the year, and in life in general. Let's wrap this up by talking watch trends. As watch lovers, we're hip, we're cool, we know what's going on, at least in our nerdy little corner of the universe. So let's dive a little deeper with a lightning round of what's in and what's out in the past 365 days. For case materials, steel is king by far, accounting for more than half of all watch sales in 2024, but it's been in a slight decline the last 2 years. Yellow gold peaked in 2021 and is now down about 9% relative to last year. Two-tone, on the other hand, has seen roughly 9% rise, passing yellow gold for second place. Rose gold and red gold peaked in 2019, and ceramic is gaining momentum going into 2023. For dial color, black is twice as popular as blue in second place. Blue is actually the only color in the top 5. Others are black, silver, white, and gray, which I thought was a little boring. I looked at my collection and it's all the same damn thing. The largest relative increase is with orange dials. They still make up a very small percentage of sales on the site, but they're performing 37% better than last year. Green, the color of the year in 2021, is still on the rise, barely, but with less than a 10% increase. We'll end on a more qualitative note and talk about sizing. We're seeing more range in case sizes in recent years, both on the primary and secondary markets. It used to feel like every watch was either 40 or 42 millimeters, but this year we've seen a bit more range in what's released. Of course, we have to mention the 39 millimeter Tudor Pelagios. It's yet another tough as nails Tudor sport watch that clots in below 40 millimeters. We also saw Grand Seiko unveil a couple 44 GS revivals in 36.5 millimeters. We expect to see more of these watches hitting Chrono 24, and we expect to see more brands dipping their toes into neutral or gender neutral territory in the future. There you have it, a snapshot of the secondary watch market for the year that was 2022. Thanks for watching Time is Money, because time only moves in one direction, but the market does not. We'll see you next time.